My name's Elijah. I live in northern Minnesota, near Duluth. But last April, I was driving down to Dallas to visit my cousin and help him move into a new place. It's a 15-hour drive, give or take. I didn't want to spend money on a hotel, so I decided to do the drive in one shot, leaving at midnight, hoping to arrive by early evening. Everything went fine for the first few hours. I stopped for coffee around 2 a.m. just outside of Rochester. Then I merged onto I-35 and settled into the rhythm of cruise control and podcast chatter. Around 4:30, I felt the need to stop and stretch. My legs were stiff, and I was starting to get a dull ache behind my eyes. I saw a sign for a rest stop just past Ames, Iowa. It was one of those older ones, just a small building with a few picnic benches and a bathroom. No gas station or food court. Still, I figured I'd park, use the restroom, and maybe take a 5-minute walk to shake off the fatigue. When I pulled in, there was only one other vehicle in the lot, a red Chevy Tahoe with its hood up, parked 2 spaces away from the entrance. I parked a few rows back. I didn't think much of it at first. I went to the restroom, splashed some cold water on my face, and took a deep breath. When I came back out, I noticed the guy by the Tahoe was waving at me. He looked maybe mid-40s, wearing a windbreaker and jeans. Short cropped hair, and a deep tan that didn't quite match the cloudy Iowa spring. He was holding a red plastic gas can in one hand, and waving with the other. I hesitated. He motioned me over. "Hey, sorry, could really use a hand." I walked cautiously toward him. He gave me a sheepish smile. "I ran out of gas a few miles back," he said, lifting the can. "Walked to a nearby farm. Guy let me fill this. But my battery's dead now from trying to start the engine, before I realized what the problem was." "That sucks," I said, already regretting stopping. "Could you help me jump it? I've got cables." I didn't really want to. Something about him put me on edge. But I also didn't want to be that guy who turns away from someone in need. "Yeah," I muttered. "I've got a battery you can use. Let me pull around." I parked nose to nose with his SUV. He opened his hood, handed me the cables, and I hooked them up. He didn't say much, just stood there watching, smiling faintly. "All right, try it now," I said after a minute. He got in and turned the key. Nothing. Not even a click. "Try again," I said. Still nothing. He popped his head out of the window. "Maybe just a little longer." I waited. Another minute passed. "Okay, try now." He turned the key. Still nothing. I started getting suspicious. He seemed too calm for a guy stuck in the middle of nowhere. Most people would be cursing by now. "I appreciate it, man," he said, stepping out of the car again. "Hey, while we wait, I've got a coffee in my cooler if you want one." "Long drive, right?" I shook my head. "I'm good." "You sure?" he insisted. "It's fresh. Just made it this morning." I was about to respond when I noticed something strange. The passenger window of his SUV had a piece of black tarp taped to the inside, like it had been broken recently. And when I looked closer, I realized the back seat was empty. Like, unnaturally empty. No bags, no trash. No signs that anyone actually used the vehicle. A chill ran up my spine. "I think your battery's shot," I said quickly, unhooking the cables. "Sorry, I couldn't help more." He didn't argue, just nodded and muttered, "Thanks anyway." I got in my car and reversed out of the space, making sure not to turn my back to him. I drove out of the rest stop and back onto the interstate. For a few minutes, I thought that was the end of it. But 20 minutes later, I glanced in my rearview mirror, and my stomach dropped. A red Chevy Tahoe. Same color, same model, same crack in the front grille. He was following me. At first, I told myself it was a coincidence. Maybe he got it started after all. But every time I changed lanes, he followed. When I sped up, so did he. When I slowed, He stayed just far enough back that I couldn't see his face. I was somewhere between Des Moines and Kansas City by then. Long, empty stretches of highway with few exits. I passed 3 rest areas and didn't stop. Around mile marker 112, I took a sudden exit, hoping to lose him. It led to a small town called Butler, just a couple of gas stations and a diner. I pulled into and parked near the front doors. I waited. 2 minutes later, the Tahoe passed the station slowly. He didn't stop. He just kept driving. I waited 10 more minutes, heart pounding. I went inside, bought a drink, and asked the clerk if they had security cameras in the lot. She said they did. That made me feel slightly better. I stayed there another 20 minutes. Finally, I got back in the car and rejoined the highway. For a while, I didn't see him. Maybe he gave up, I thought. But as I approached the Oklahoma state line, I saw a gas station just off the road and decided to finally stop to fill up and use the restroom. It was a Love's Travel stop, well lit, busy enough that I felt comfortable. I went inside to grab snacks. When I came out, I almost dropped my drink. The red Tahoe was parked 2 rows over. He was sitting in the driver's seat, just sitting there, staring forward. I didn't know what to do. If I got in my car and drove off, he'd follow again. If I stayed, I was cornered. I decided to act like I hadn't seen him. I walked over to a trucker who was fueling his semi. A big guy, probably in his 50s. I asked him if he could pretend to chat with me for a minute. To my relief, he didn't even question it. As we stood by his rig, I saw the Tahoe slowly back out of the spot and pull away. I waited another 10 minutes, then got the hell out of there. That was the last I saw of him. When I got to my cousin's house later that evening, I filed a report with the Oklahoma Highway Patrol, gave them the description and plate number. The officer told me they'd look into it, but admitted they get a lot of reports like mine. That's the part that sticks with me. How many people out there are pulling similar scams? Faking car trouble, pretending to need a jump, just waiting for someone kind, or tired, or naive enough to stop and help. I don't know what that guy's endgame was. Robbery, maybe, or something worse. All I know is, I won't ever stop for a stranger again, especially not at a rest stop before sunrise. Before we dive into the next story, if you're here for the first time, please consider subscribing to our channel and clicking the bell icon so you won't miss any of our upcoming stories. Your support truly encourages us and helps this channel continue to grow. And don't forget to share these stories with your friends and family. Thank you. My name's Griffin, and I drive for a logistics company based out of Lincoln, Nebraska. Most of the time, I just move inventory between warehouses in the Midwest. Nothing special. But last October, I had to do an unusually long haul. Lincoln to Flagstaff, Arizona. 18 hours total. I broke it up over 2 days, sleeping in my truck along the way. The night I'm going to tell you about happened during the second leg of the trip. I had already crossed into New Mexico, somewhere southeast of Gallup. It was close to midnight, and the road had become one of those desolate stretches where you can go 40 minutes without seeing another set of headlights. I was tired, but I figured I could make it at least another hour. That's when I saw the blue sign for a take a break, rest area, 1 mile, open 24 hours. Perfect. I didn't need to sleep, just take a piss and splash some cold water on my face. I pulled in to find the place completely deserted. No trucks, no sedans, not even a vending machine humming in the dark. Just a crumbling brick restroom building under one flickering lamppost. The kind of place that feels abandoned even when it's technically open. I parked near the entrance and stepped out. The night air was cold, but it wasn't just the temperature that made me shiver. The wind was still. Too still. I walked toward the restroom. The door creaked as I pushed it open. Inside, the lights were dim, and 2 of the overhead bulbs were flickering like a dying candle. One of the mirrors above the sink was cracked right down the middle. It smelled like mildew and old bleach. I took care of business and went to wash my hands. That's when I noticed something that made my chest tighten. In the mirror above the sink, not the cracked one, the one next to it, I saw the reflection of someone standing in the back corner of the restroom. But when I turned around, the corner was empty. I stared for a moment, looked at the mirror, looked back. Nothing. Jesus, I muttered, trying to shake the nerves. Get a grip. I splashed water on my face. I didn't even dry it. Just wanted to get out. As I opened the restroom door to leave, some sound, made me pause. A soft tapping, not behind me, not beside me, above me. The ceiling in the restroom had those big square vent panels. I looked up, and I swear to you, I saw a face looking down through the slats. Pale skin, sunken eyes, hair so matted it almost looked wet. I stumbled backward, heart hammering, and the panel shifted slightly. Not enough to fall out. Just enough to know that whatever was up there had moved. I bolted. I didn't even check to see if anyone followed me. I just ran straight to my truck, got in, locked the doors, and started the engine. As I backed up to leave, I glanced once, only once, at the restroom building. There was no one outside. But the light over the entrance flickered twice, then died completely. Back on the highway, I was breathing hard, trying to tell myself I was imagining things. Sleep-deprived, seeing shadows. That's all. I was 30 minutes down the road when I realized I hadn't zipped up my pants in my rush to escape. I laughed, a dry, shaky kind of laugh. Maybe it really was just my brain playing tricks. Eventually, I saw another rest stop sign. I figured I could stop, shake it off, and collect myself. This second rest area was newer, cleaner looking, well lit. 2 other vehicles were parked, a semi and a white sedan. I parked between them and walked inside. As soon as I stepped in, I felt a chill. Not like temperature, but something instinctual, like my body trying to warn me. The restroom was empty, but the lights buzzed in a steady rhythm. I went into the stall to finish what I couldn't finish earlier. Halfway through, I heard the door creak open. Then, footsteps. Slow, deliberate footsteps. 1 step every 2 seconds. The kind of footsteps you feel in your chest more than you hear. They stopped right outside my stall. I froze. I bent slightly to look under the door. Whoever it was, they weren't wearing shoes. I could see bare feet, grayish and filthy, the toenails too long to be normal. I tried to speak. "Occupied," I said. No answer. The feet didn't move. I pulled out my phone, opened the camera silently, and held it under the stall door with a video recorder on. I just wanted to see who it was, but the screen showed nothing. No feet, no legs, just the tile floor and the edge of the stall. I slowly pulled the phone back, then the feet were gone. I waited a full minute before opening the stall. The restroom was empty. I moved to the sink, trying to calm myself, trying to breathe. Then I looked up. All the mirrors were blacked out. Not broken, not dirty. Black. Like they'd been painted over. Or like they were turned into voids. I turned and ran. As I reached my truck, I looked back. The restroom door was wide open, and the lights inside were flickering rapidly. I could swear I saw something standing just inside the doorway. Not a man, not a woman. Just a shape. Vaguely human. Too tall. Too thin. I didn't stay to look twice. I drove through the rest of New Mexico and didn't stop until I was in Flagstaff. I parked outside my customer's apartment and fell asleep in the driver's seat. Engine running. Doors locked. The next day, I told myself I'd imagined it all. Sleep deprivation. hallucinations, stress, until I checked my phone. That video I had taken under the stall, the one where no feet showed up, it was still there. But when I played it back, I heard something in the background that hadn't been there before. A whisper. One single whisper that seemed to come from right beside the microphone. It said, "We see you too." I deleted the video. Not because I was scared of what it meant, but because I was scared of what I'd do if I kept watching it. I haven't stopped at a rest area since. I'd rather pee in a bottle on the shoulder than ever go into one of those buildings again.